Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast /YouTube/We Do It All. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here. My boy Jay Hiz over there in the six. How you doing, my dog?
Doing great, bro. I'm doing great, and especially because we got a legend on the show today. Town legend, Bay Area legend, California legend, whatever you want to call it, man. Ivan Rabb, yo, in the building, man. What's up, Ivan?
Man, what's the deal, man? Y'all good?
We doing good. We doing good, man. We are very excited to have you on, Ivan. When me and Jay found out, we were able to have a guest like you. Honestly, so many stories just kind of started running through our mind as far as just like the high school basketball because like how we were talking a little bit before we got on camera, Ivan. Me and Jay also went to high school out here in the Bay Area, grew up in around the same time that you did. So we were just reminiscing on all these dominating stories of you, being out here in the Bay Area. So it is good to have you on the pod today, Ivan. But how you doing, man? How you been?
Man, I'm doing well. I've been, just working, staying involved in the community, trying to be well-rounded, just keep studying. I'm doing a lot. Got my hands in a lot of different pots, but I'm just trying to figure it all out and figure out what that looks like for me in the near future. Absolutely,
man. Absolutely. So today we just gonna talk a little bit about your basketball journey and where it's been up to and how you're doing and what's next for Ivan. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
That's cool. Then let's get into it. So the first question that we love to ask is, Ivan, you've had a very accomplished basketball career, but where did it all start? Who was the first person to put that orange ball in your hands? Who was the first person to get that motivated and that basketball spark going in you?
Who was the first person? I would say my mom, really. Like in the second grade, I played for the East Lake YMCA in East Oakland. And that was like my first time playing organized basketball. But really more than that, I always had it in my hand. I was always outside. Like back then we had crates outside. So I was shooting on crates. Then we ended up getting a basketball court. And then, sometimes I didn't want to shoot on the court. I would just dribble up and down the block, High Street or Foothill. Dribble up and down the block. Until the sun went down, really. Even when the sun went down, I was still out there, like just using my imagination, trying to get right. And that got me far. Mm-hmm.
So you were the neighborhood alarm clock out there in Oakland and doing that basketball, huh?
They used to, man, we used to get in trouble for being out there too late. The neighbors, we moved a lot, so every time we went to a new house, it was the same thing. So the neighbors would get mad. We out there all night, lowering the court, dunking on the court. whatever we was doing, it was always a problem, but we were always out there though too. So
okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when's the first time you mentioned dunking? When's the first time you dunked?
Good question.
All and everything.
Seventh grade. I remember it was seventh grade. I was at Montera at I think before school. We used to have runs in the morning. I think after the bell rang, I seen my boy Timberdio. Timberdio played D1 too. I went up. He dunked a few weeks earlier, and I finally got mine. And it was crazy. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
He was juiced, huh?
I ain't gonna, because I was getting hung and just missing. I finally got one.
Mm-hmm. How tall were you at the time when you first dunked?
Probably like 6'3".
Man, seventh grade, but mind y'all, he said seventh grade, 6'3". That's crazy, Ivan, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy, but all right. So then, let's keep it pushing. Let's kind of talk about your high school, like how Jay was mentioned in the beginning of the pod. You went to O'Dowd. So talk to us a little bit about how your high school career went. We know you're very accomplished and played all 4 years of varsity. But go ahead and just talk to us kind of about how that was for you.
First off, at first I didn't even know what O'Dowd was. When I started hearing about the basketball and everything, but I wasn't in the loop. So they came to my attention and I had to catch up and find out what it was, and it was a culture shock when I got there. But the thing that I noticed is, Coach Lou and Coach Vieira, they love their basketball. So, when I got up there, it was like I went from dribbling up and down the block to really having to be in the gym, you know, and them teaching me how to work more and more as the years went on. You know, and then I got on board my first year. I remember Coach Lou telling me, "You might have to play freshman." I'm like, "Bro, I'm not playing freshman, bro," because I knew where I was at. I knew I was already pretty talented. Like, I just had to get acclimated. So that I remember freshman year, I didn't play much until maybe 3/4 through the season, and I had my first couple games, and I spiked and had a 20-point game, and ever since then, it was like I was in the rotation.
Okay.
I had to earn it. I had to earn it.
Yeah, I feel that. You know, it's funny, Ivan, because the first time, because I played against you when I was at Daylight, you probably don't even remember this, but so I think it was my junior year, would have been your sophomore year. And someone said, "You're on a mixtape," said to me. I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not, I was an average ball player at high school, and on cap. And they're like, "Yeah, you're on a mixtape." I said, "What?" You're on Ivan's Rabb's mixtape getting blocked. I was like, "What?" So yeah, that's how I remember your sophomore year mixtape, because I was looking back on it too when John told me you were going to be on the show. I was like, damn, those are fond memories. But yeah, I was on I think your sophomore year. It was the Area's finest mixtape. So that was always comes to mind when I think of your high school career, bro. But
yeah, say a lot. Daylight got a crazy history, bro. So I say a lot. Anybody who made that team, you know, they well respected. Well respected. So we always had to come to y'all and play y'all with, like, you know, had to be locked in.
Yeah, respect. Yeah, no, likewise with y'all too. Like Lou had y'all ready. I remember summer league battles and all that stuff with Odell. But yeah. But let's talk a little bit about more like what were some tough matchups? You know, you mentioned us, but like tough matchups, either player wise or I know you played against Ben Simmons, but who was kind of like the toughest matchup you played against in high school? Could be a team or could be a player or whatever you're feeling.
Toughest matchup. Well, with those, you know, the games where we traveled, it wasn't always like we only played one time. So it was never really like a rivalry. So I always had more respect for like we played San Leandro or San Leandro just give us a run every time. SL. So as far as traveling though, Oak Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we ever got Oak Hill. We played them, I think 2 or 3 times. They got us every time, but they wasn't better than us. We just would like have lapses.
Right.
So Oak Hill, I don't know, bro. We played a lot of games, bro.
Who did Oak Hill have on the squad when you played them? Like any notable players?
They had Dwayne Bacon.
Man, I remember that.
Yeah, they had Daniel. I can't remember his last name. They had a lot of D1 guys. They had Terrence Phillips. That's at the point. He went to Mizzou. Yeah, I can't remember all their names, bro. But they had a lot of players, even coming off the bench. So they had a legendary coach too. So it was well coached, well-oiled machine.
Absolutely. I mean, Oak Hill has always been known as, you know, having that being that powerhouse school. But I mean, I like how we were saying at the time, you guys were a pretty good powerhouse in yourself. You know, having Paris, and while you're there, you know, correct me if I misspoke, but you're a two-time Open Division champion, and then a one-time state champion. So man, you honestly definitely did your thing there. And while you guys were in high school, like how we mentioned, McDonald's All-American player, you played in the Jordan Brand Classic game. You were in the ESPN Top 100 list. But, you know, so I'm sure a lot of great moments. But Ivan, if you could think of like what was one favorite moment that you could look back to and you say, man, like that, you know, that was one moment I could like relive, or I really enjoyed that moment while I was in high school. We did a lot of great things.
Yeah, I had a lot of moments with my teams and stuff that was great. If I had to say one, though, it had to be state championship, bro. We beat Mater Dei. You know, we had already lost them the year before. We lost them actually my senior year in Vegas. My junior year in Vegas. So, you know, we had to take a couple of L's to them, and we always felt like we could beat them. And we always felt like they had some help. You know what I'm saying? But we had to fight through that, and that really made us better, bro. That matchup, that was one of the tough matchups. There we go. Mater Dei, Oak Hill, San Leandro. Like, you know, we had to work They had a great coach. They had, the players. They had that system. Everybody bought in, and they made them a tough out every time. So when we beat them in the fashion that we won, the tight game coming back in the fourth quarter, pairs going off, Zal hitting big shots, Austin making big plays, Franklin having, everybody chipped in, and I closed it out with a free throw, like all together as a team effort, bro. It was like we had to earn that, and we didn't want to leave without that ring, so we had to do it. We had to do it.
Yeah, I remember that game specifically, Ivan, because that was also at Cal, and I remember you had, I believe you had already committed at that point. And I was like, you hadn't committed. So did that play a factor in committing there? Because just like you had a bunch of offers, like, and then you decided to stay home. Did that play anything into that decision, or was that just something that just came to light?
Bro, honestly, I had already known I wanted to go there for like 3 weeks before that.
Okay.
But I just wasn't ready to commit yet. And then they tried to they was pushing to get me to commit that day. But I'm like, I can't do it. Like, state championship, that would have took a lot of attention off what we just did. So I'm like, I'm gonna wait. I think I waited a few more days or a week or something and got it over with. But nah, not really. But it was dope though, because I knew I would be playing there next year.
Right.
So it was cool. It was Cal fans all over. So
Okay, that's cool. That's cool, man. And then I mean, why are we going to talk about some stories? I got to throw a story out there because so I'm a little younger. I'm a little younger than you. I graduated high school 2017, so I was kind of more coming onto the scene of high school basketball when you and Jay were kind of like leaving. So I do remember being a freshman, and when you came to, because I also went to De La Salle, you came to De La Salle, and there was the whole, you were ranked that year, and that was the whole, that they were trying to do the 6-man chant, overrated, and then you just came through and shut the whole school down, man. So, I mean, why are we talking about stories, man? I had to put that out there too as well, man, because definitely, while we're talking about high school basketball, I got to give you your roses, man. No problem, man. No problem. So and then, after this very accomplished high school basketball career, you had some good and some tough decisions to make, man. You had coming into college, you had options like UCLA, Kansas, Kentucky, Arizona, but like how Jay Hill was mentioning earlier, you ultimately went with Cal. Like, if you could kind of go into some reasons, like what made you stay in the Bay, like what made you stay home, like UCLA, Kansas, Kentucky, like those are all great options. But what was the deciding factor that was like, man, Cal is for me?
So, honestly, bro, the whole time I was trying to figure out where I wanted to play. Cal was always in the back of my mind. I saw who they had on the team. I'm like, these guys can all play. They need one more guy. They need a big fella. They need, a couple pieces. So I'm recruiting the whole time. We played Jalen my senior year, Jalen Brown, and I was talking to him like, bro, let's do. He was like UCLA. I'm like, let's do Cal. Got a black coaching staff. All that stuff was like important to me. That was like family. So I recruited JB. I was recruiting Caleb Swan again from Purdue. That was my guy. Like, so
big man.
He was damn near committed. So we had a lot of pieces. We had 2 more people that committed that just couldn't end up, just didn't work out. So I was recruiting. I'm like, I'm masterminding the whole thing. I don't even know if the head coach from Cal knew what I was doing, but I'm like, we're gonna figure it out. But yeah, like what I was about to say was, if I would have went to like not UCLA, but Kentucky, UCLA, Kansas, like these other schools, North Carolina, which I loved, like they had so many players, bro. And it's like you get lost in the shuffle. You got to really do it big to be remembered at these schools, which I plan on doing anyways. But I wanted to go somewhere new, bro. And it had been a while for Cal basketball. So I was excited to make a change, really.
Sure, yeah. So talk about like your first. So you made your decision your first year at Cal. Like I'll just read off some. Like you led the squad in field goal percentage, rebounds, blocks, double doubles. I set the freshman record for most rebounds in the year. But talk a little bit about the ins and outs of like adjusting to college life from coming from high school and being at home, because I know there's just some distraction elements. You knew that was going to come with the territory, but talk to me about your first year over there in Berkeley.
Yeah, my first year was crazy. mainly because at the beginning of the year, like in practice, bro, I couldn't do nothing right. I was like, I couldn't rebound the ball, I couldn't score the ball, I was turning the ball over. Coach Martin was on my ass, like Coach Webb was on my ass, Coach Young, like it was just like, damn, bro. But it felt like my timing was off. Right. So it took me a minute to get adjusted to the speed of the game. And that's something I learned as I got older. Like, you get dumped into these situations, you got to catch up to the speed. So more than anything, your skills, they'll come out over time. But yeah, it was just like, bro, I remember my teammates was looking at me. I'm like, all right, like we gonna figure it out. When we figured it out, it was love. So like I said, it took me a minute to get acclimated. But once I got going, we started playing, having, we had the Midnight Madness, we had all these different things, bro. And it was just cool to have a bond with the squad like that, because we was real close. We was a real close team. We cracked a lot of jokes. We did a lot of stuff together off the court, and that's what made us good. And we had it hard together. Like Coach Martin used to be on us, bro. It wasn't easy to deal with. It wasn't easy to deal with, but like it made us tougher and it made us better men. At this point of our lives, it made us better men.
Absolutely. And then I just want to kind of just give you a shout out, because like as you were talking, you talk about the importance of kind of getting lost in the shuffle, and when you go to these big name schools, and this kind of really got me thinking. I remember at the time when you did go to Cal, I remember thinking like, man, like Ivan and this new team like really gonna get Cal basketball popping again. And to be real with you, like you, Jalen, and that squad kind of really did put Cal basketball like on the map like once again, because I feel like it kind of at that time it was kind of dying off, man. So just like while we're on that point of talking about your first years at Cal, like you definitely did you and that team put in work, man. Help change the name.
No, for sure. It was fun, bro. It was fun. I wanted to really see him like, pick up the recruiting every year. After that, it didn't really happen that way. But like I know they'll come back around again in the near future for sure.
Absolutely. And then your second year, I mean, you take another huge jump, man. I mean, you had to miss the first 2 games, I believe, but then you came out 4 straight doubles, and then you set your career high 2 straight games in a row against one against LA Tech, man. So talk to us, about what was it that year that really made you take that jump? We know that after your second year is when you ended up, declaring for the NBA draft. But like, talk to us about, like what did you learn from first year to second year that made you take that jump and become, that much better, that much more confident in your game?
I think it was experience. Like my first year, we played in some really big games against some big name players. Like in the Pac-12 was loaded. Arizona, Utah had 2 first-round picks. All these teams had a lot of high-level players, and we played big games on the road. So when I made it that second year, it was just I was more at ease. I didn't really have a hard time adjusting. The hardest part was like facing the different defensive matchups that they had for me, like the defensive schemes. They would like send doubles and like triples, and they didn't really trust our shooters. So that's the barrier I had to get over more than anything. But it was cool. I just had to learn how to make different shots and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So talk to me about like, you mentioned Jalen earlier and that kind of thing, but then talk to me. So after 2 years, why not you declared for the draft? Why wasn't it the first? Was it kind of like the adjustment, like you said, or because you did I looked at the first year stats and everything, and you was putting in work, but we know always stats isn't the same thing as actual on the court and how you feel as a player and the adjustment to the pros and everything. But what was it that made you after the second year kind of say, I'm ready, like let's do this thing?
I think because coming in, I knew I only wanted to do a year or 2. I didn't leave my first year because I just didn't feel physically ready and mentally ready. Really, I was still a kid, bro. Like, I couldn't imagine going at 19? I couldn't imagine. I wasn't ready, bro. I was in college and shit. Like, so yeah. And then I had to learn how to work. Like, even when I left, I didn't really know what it took to really work as a pro. It took me some years to figure it out. So it was a combination of everything. Just like being mature enough to know that I'm not ready to take on the workload yet, and mentally, you know, all the stuff that come with it. Like it just took me 2 years, 3 years, you know. So
Absolutely, but I mean, it's important that that's important that and that you don't go into a decision just wanting to be there and then making a bad decision. So that's really great and shows a lot of intelligence from your end. And then just while we're wrapping up the kind of the college talk, Jay talked about it, and you even talked about earlier, recruiting Jaylen Brown, being around a player like that. So, we are, NBA podcast, we talk about that all the time too. So like, I did want to ask, how was it being around such a young Jaylen Brown? I remember seeing him in college. Like, did you see him being, me and Jay were talking last night, like he's low-key one of the most slept on players in the league.
Yeah, bro.
Low-key, like averaging 2.
He was like that.
Man. I knew it was in high school. In college, he didn't get the, bro, they take charges on him every game. He can do what he do now. And he always had the wiggle. He could always defend. He just wasn't like motivated all the time because it was too easy. It was too easy. Right. So when he got drafted and thrown in the fire, bro, it just took a minute. I knew what it was going to do. They tried to send him to the G League. He just had to figure it out. He had to mature. Like people got to give these guys, it's hard, bro. You coming in the league playing LeBron 37, bro. Man, they got kids and families. It take a minute. You got to give some leeway. But bro, I knew it was gonna happen when he went. Man, he got all that space. You giving him space, and he could really shoot. He was struggling. He was in a slump.
Man,
now you see the jumper, catch and shoot. You see off the bounce. You got the wiggle, the tween behind the back crosses. He could defend. He do everything.
He really do. He really do. He really do. He's definitely one of the most slept on players in the league. So yeah, we had. Yeah, that absolutely. So
yeah, I want to get some. I also had Tyrone Wallace on that team. I had Jabari Bird on that team.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Ari coming back soon. He'll be back. He unbelievable. T. Wall just got signed to New Orleans Pelicans on 10 days. I think 10 days in a row. T. Wall, they both dogs. So we had plenty of pros on that. We had a lot of pros on that team. People still playing overseas. Like Cameron Brooks, Sam Singer, Kingsley O'Curl. Grant Mullins didn't play, but he could have played. We had pros on that team. Brandon Chaka. So we had some guys. That's why we were so good, especially that first year.
Brandon Chaka was that lefty, that Filipino lefty, right? Yeah, he was cold. I'm not gonna lie. He always used to come up. So he had like one of his homies went to SF State. And that's where I went to college. He used to always come up there and just be hooping at the rec center with us. Oh, he was raw. I'm not gonna lie. He was raw. Absolutely. All right, man. So then Ivan, after you have two great seasons at Cal, you end up deciding to declare for the NBA draft, and you go pro. And honestly, before we even talk about touch anything in the pro career, like me and Jay personally just want to give you your roses, man, because not only is it so difficult to go pro, man, but like I just need people to understand, and I need people to hear this stat. Like out of college athletes, and this is according to the NCAA, just one in every 250 college athletes go pro, man. So for you to be able to have a pro career, however long, wherever it was, man, I think it's just extremely impressive, and it needs your roses, man. So just wanted to give you a shout out for that, man.
Appreciate it. Took a lot of work. Focus for sure.
Absolutely, man. So let's exactly talk about that then, man. So, you end up getting drafted the second round, 35th overall pick in this 2017 draft to the Orlando Magic. Then you get traded to the Grizzlies. Kind of, walk us through that night, like walk us through that day. Like, that's a crazy feeling. I have no idea how you even feel, honestly. Okay. But talk to us.
That whole pre-draft experience, like everything was crazy. I had hella workouts. Ended up getting hurt in my workouts, so I didn't get to finish. I had canceled like 8 workouts. So it was tough because I knew I wasn't able to work out for all the teams, and they wouldn't be able to see a difference in my game. Draft night was beautiful, bro. I mean, it didn't matter where I got picked. It was just like, bro, I'm here. Like, you turn a dream to a reality. Is you gotta pay respects to your blessings and stuff that when they come your way. So I got drafted 35th. I thought I got drafted 34th to the Cleveland Cavaliers. So I didn't know I went to Memphis until like 10 minutes later. So that was crazy, you know. It was just, I don't know, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was exciting. My family was all there. Then I got the call from Coach David Fisdale. You know, so it's first time talking to my new coach was unbelievable. He was like, "We're gonna get you out there tomorrow." I'm like, "Let's do it," you know. So next day I was in Memphis, checked in the hotel, you know, a whole new place. It's hot and humid. I'm across the street from the arena. Like this is this home. It's home.
Okay.
Wow.
So did you have any indication that Memphis was? I know Orlando drafted you, and then you got traded to Memphis. Did you have any indication they were going to draft you, or like did you work out with them or anything?
No, I had worked out with them. Orlando called me back twice.
Okay.
But I hadn't heard from Memphis at all. I didn't know they were looking at me. So it was a surprise.
Man, okay, and then I know you said you worked out for like a whole lot of teams. So like I know are you listening to a lot of other podcasts? I don't know if you listen to like the knuckleheads. They always like kind of talk about how many like the star athletes just kind of do like one or two workouts, but the ones that really be working, the real players that got to do a lot of workouts. So how many like did you do like 10, 20? Like how many workouts did you do?
I think I did 11. I had to cancel 8 or 9 though.
Damn, that's crazy,
bro. I was going, and a couple teams called me back, so I worked out with Orlando twice, and then I think Portland twice. So that's the hardest part. The pre-draft is the hardest part of everything that you do, bro. You make it through that, like you halfway there.
Okay, all right, man, all right. Well, that's tough. That's tough. But then, so then you make it through it, right? You make it through it, and like how you say, you make it through the toughest part. And then September 18th, 2017, man, you do it. You signed a 3-year rookie deal that gets you 2-year guaranteed. I mean, first of all, like, how does it feel to have all your hard work recognized by you, by a whole NBA organization and everything? So like, how did that feel? Signing that deal.
Man, it felt good. I still remember the day, being in the office with the, GM. I don't know. It was just crazy. It didn't hit me. It took a while for it to hit me. It was just like, I signed it. I'm like, what's next? Like, I know we got a grind ahead of us, but it's like, it was so long until we played, Summer League, but it felt Summer League was like, I think a few weeks away. So I don't know. It was a lot going through my mind. I was hurt at the time. So I was just rehabbing. It was like, I didn't know what was going to happen. But I knew I was secured in that way. And it was just like, I'm looking forward to the next 2 years to see what happens.
Okay. So you signed a deal. You got it on the dotted lines. I know you mentioned like the work of the league and work of a pro is different. But what was like your welcome to the league moment? If you could think of one or maybe multiple, could be game, could be practice, but talk about a little bit about that.
So I think it was a couple things that I noticed. Like, I just think I had the coldest floater in the league. I already knew coming in I had the coldest floater. And then I got drafted. I'm playing with Mike Conley. This shit crazy. So that was just one. I was just like, bro, he don't miss. And he could shoot jumpers from both hands, like left hand, right hand. He was like me. I'm really left-handed. I should have been shooting my left, but I always shot my right. So he was the opposite. So that was one. And then Marcus All in practice was just unbelievable, bro. He was so comfortable. It's like, bro, I said you got to get used to the speed. The game was too slow for him. And he's not an athletic player. He understands. He can pass that thing. He can defend. He can shoot threes, everything. So I was just studying his game, bro. And then in the league, it's so many dogs, bro. But I always like to talk about the underappreciated players. So at the time, Drew Holiday, I remember him just coming off the pick and roll, bro, and just like he hitting every pull up.
Yeah,
he was getting he would hit a pull up and he would drop to the basket, spin, float you or lay you. And then we had Lou Williams, same thing, come off the pick and roll. You can't touch him. I remember I'm playing Lou. I got like 2 quick fouls.
Man,
he come off pick and roll. He bump you, flop, and one. Awesome. It's so many dogs, bro. It's so many stories I could tell. It's like, where do you start? As far as bigs, like guys that's underrated, it was Vucevic. when he was in Orlando,
Okay.
bro, because he could do everything. He shoot threes, mid range. He got the post hook. Like he's strong as hell. He put you under the basket. So I don't know.
Just do it all. Just do it all, man. I feel it. I see it.
And I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know. So when you see the scouting report, like, damn, he got that. That it was a lot of moments like that. It was like, right, he got that too. I didn't know he had that. And you got to really, and he killing with it too.
Okay, absolutely. I feel like something. Ivan, you mentioned some of these tough matchups and like those. You're welcome to the NBA moments. But then I have to ask this question. Being I know you've been in the NBA. You definitely know how to face the Melos, the LeBrons, all these players. But what was like an underrated matchup that you feel like the world doesn't really know about, but like, man, like this person's cold. Like we had a different overseas hooper on, and he used to hoop with Frank Ntilikina, right? Which is still a good NBA player. And he said like, nah, people don't know about him. He's so cold, and like he just don't know about it because the NBA is that nice. But what is there somebody to you that's just like, yeah, he's different. The world don't know about him.
That's a tough.
First of all, I would have said Vooch.
Vooch.
Okay.
Yeah, like he really a dog. I think when I was playing, DeMar was in San Antonio, and he wasn't making no All-Stars or nothing, bro. But he was he was still in Toronto. Mm-hmm. Kawhi was in. I remember Kawhi. Oh, Kawhi, bro. When he was in San Antonio, bro, he was different. And I remember they said, "Oh, he gonna go right every time." He went right, bro. He didn't miss no shots. No lefts. It was like everything was a bucket. And he didn't make no facial expression, nothing, right? He just feeling it. Like, I can't think of an underrated like Hooper though right now.
Okay. Okay, absolutely.
So that I gotta ask. So that was on the scouting report that Kawhi is only gonna go right.
Yeah,
he just hit everything.
Everything. He wasn't using his left hand. He was straight right. If you watch today, you watch his game, he's going right. Mm-hmm. Even if you drive left, you shouldn't pull up. You go right to the basket or pull up or step back.
But I've heard like from pros and everything. I know you know this too. Like at that level, on the scouting report, they'll have exactly what they're gonna do, but they're so good at getting to their spots. It doesn't matter, right? Is that what you felt like at the league?
Yeah, like Harden, bro.
Right.
I think my second year, Harden he gave us 53 times.
3 times.
That's when he was on. That's when he was averaging. I think he was averaging 36.
Okay.
He was really different. Like, and we knew what he was gonna do. He was gonna get the whistle. So it's like, damn, you can't run him off the line. He got to come down the lane. He gonna bump him. It's a whistle. Like, it's just a lot of players. Who else? Scott, they have reports on everybody. You name it, I could probably still remember some of it, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy, man. And I honestly, now that you mentioned Harden, I just kind of think of like how tough it would be to like, and I'm watching on through the TV, Harden do that little where he brings his arm through it to get the foul, and I'm thinking like how tough that would be on the court. So that's ridiculous. Like, man,
he showed you the ball. He put the ball in front of you so he can show it to you, and it's like bait. It's like bait.
Wow.
Even if you hit him on his arm, he's too strong, bro. There's a few guys who can move him. Like, you're not taking the ball from him.
That's a whole different level, man. All right, man. So then Ivan, thanks for sharing and talking about some stories like that. And as kind of we start to kind of like wrap it up here, I would love to know because you were on that Memphis team, and a rising star right now on that Memphis team is Jaren Jackson Jr., man. So I would love to know kind of like how was it being around him, such at a young age? Did you expect him to be kind of like that, really this good?
Yeah, bro. Same thing. It was he just had to stop fouling. That's all it was, bro. Mm-hmm. He couldn't stay on the floor, and he was hurt. But he's so skilled, bro. He worked so hard. Like, you could tell his family was just like, his dad was in the league, so he learned a lot from his dad. Was pushing him, like, he worked hard. So nothing he's doing now is a surprise. Like, he gonna get a defensive player of the year in his career. That's saying a lot. Mm-hmm. And if you really watch him, he's one of the most skilled bigs in the league. He just still putting it together. So when he put it all together, it's gonna be scary. I got love all them guys on Memphis, bro. Them really like my brothers. Like, so it's good to see them doing what they're doing. You know, from Ja down, everybody is all dope ass people. And they, you know, they can hoop. They can hoop.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, man. So, as we've seen, Ivan, you had a very accomplished, pro career, man. You did a lot of things. This is honestly a extremely impressive basketball career in general, man. I mean, most of us, if I can speak for myself, being a basketball player, definitely not as accomplished as you were, but when I picked up that orange basketball, I always wanted it to take me, to the NBA or take me to all these different places, man. So roses and shout out to you for being able to do that, man. But what we want to know next is what's going on now for Ivan. Like what's next for Ivan. That was the past. That was what happened. But what's new? What do you got in the works? Because I know you got a lot coming up here.
Yeah. I got some stuff going on. I'm not necessarily playing the game right now. I'm taking a break away from it. Just felt like I wanted to do more. Want to do something different. I think once I got to a certain point during the pandemic, and it was like, the pandemic is when I learned how to really work, and I really figured it out, and I was ready to go. But once I got to that point, bro, I started getting obsessed with it. I'm like, that's not really what I want to do. So you got to really, you got to dedicate. You can't cheat the game. So once I figured that out, I'm like, I can't come back and, so right now I want to teach. I'm connected in the tech world, working on some stuff in the tech world. So right now I'm trying to find a combination between like being a teacher / mentor, being still involved in sports and basketball with the technology. And just that's evolving day by day. It's kind of like trying to figure out what my niche is exactly, but I'm doing all right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, absolutely. I mean, hey, it's great to hear that you're doing good, and it definitely, honestly, is a unique, and I honestly really like that. The path that you're taking. It's a path that not many take. So I would love for you to be able to shed some light on it and talk like what necessarily. I know you said during COVID it taught you how to work, and it taught like, man, I can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But what was the reason, and what was the reason for the transition from hoop to tech, and was it a change of heart, or just you didn't fell out of for the game?
So when I say I learned how to work, is like I started paying attention to every little detail, right? Like you listen to Floyd Mayweather, Serena Williams, like Kobe, and they all tell you exactly what to do. They tell you the blueprint. You just got to be like literally smart enough to figure it out and do it. What does it look like for you? So I started to really figure it out, bro. I'm up. This was like towards the end of my career in New York too. I was up at 4:50 in the morning. So I figured out before the pandemic, but like right when it happened, 4:50, I'm going to the gym, work out, get on the court, do my treatment, cold tub, whatever it is, make 200 to, I started at 250 and I went up to like 350 a day. Cold tub, go home, go back to the house, rehab. I had Normatec boots. Like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm reading, I'm journaling, going to sleep. I'm up again. I'm back at practice before anybody else was there. So I started to figure out like, that's all it really takes. It's really easy. You just got to make it a lifestyle. So man, I started doing that in my game. I started getting so much better in like 2 weeks, bro. Like it was kind of crazy. It was like, this all I was missing right here was the real work ethic, figuring it out. And I had to figure it out on my own in the G League. And I started putting up crazy numbers. And it's like, I was getting caught up by the Knicks. I was going to finish up the year with the Knicks. And the pandemic happened. Boom, everything got shut down. I went home. But I kept that same mindset, like waking up early, I'm running, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. But I started taking it to a different level in terms of like my obsession with the game. And then I was just like this ain't really what I want to do. But I'm happy I found out what it takes to be successful in anything. So that's what I really took out of it. Like if you want something, you got to really be obsessed with it, bro. And your life got to evolve around it.
Nice.
You got to put everything on the line. So that's what I kind of, part of what I plan to teach on my mentorship thing. Like if you talk to anybody. Like I worked with Jalen Lewis all through the pandemic.
Mhm.
I was right there with him. Like, you know what Jalen Lewis is? Y'all know what that is?
No, I don't know Jalen.
No.
I gotta look him up, bro. He was his first high school player to sign a professional contract. He's from Oakland too. Jalen Lewis.
Okay, yeah,
Just
Jalen
found
Lewis.
out. He played for OTE, Overtime Sports. So he was with me and Coach Ant and Jabari Bird, Will Cherry, all summer. We coaching him up. Not just him, but like, Saeed was there. Sule, I don't know if y'all know Sule is. He go to UTEP.
Yeah.
Too. Yep.
So we basically, I'm like giving them the game. We all give them the game, but I'm really like giving the game and like telling them like, you can't cheat any rep. I got to a point, bro, I didn't cheat any rep. I'm running through the line, like obsessed with it. And I don't feel no pain on my body. I'm that locked in during the workout. So, but yeah, I felt more passion in giving it to them than for me, really. I'm like, I don't really want to do it anymore. At least right now, that's how I feel. But I know I can flip that switch and get back to work and then eventually go play somewhere, bro. Yeah, I just like to teach.
Absolutely, man. Hey, honestly, Ivan, just full moment of honesty, man. That's beautiful, man. Because like, you telling us that you learned how to really become successful in anything. You telling us like, I learned. I took one thing. I was successful in this. I know how to do it, and now I can become successful in all aspects of life. And I just think that's great, man. And like, I was gonna ask you like, what's one piece of advice you would have for everybody else, but I think that's what you would say. Be obsessed with it. Like, be willing to die over it if that's what you're gonna do.
Oh, real talk, bro. Real talk,
man.
And and since we here, bro, it's a lot of stuff that I do that that I want to teach, that helped me get to that point. And one of the biggest things is like mindfulness and meditation. Like I'm huge on that. Absolutely. And I see how it relates to sports, so right now I'm doing like I'm doing some programs for some kids, and I'm teaching them to meditate before you work out, how to visualize. Like this is all stuff Coach Ant taught me, my strength coach. Bro, I would visualize my entire workout before I got on the beach when we did sand work. So I visualize how it's supposed to look. I come out there, but it's like, because it's like you already did it when you meditated, when you visualize. Your brain can't tell the difference. So I had already worked out in my mind. And then get on the beach, it's like, it's easy. I've already done this. So it's like little tricks like that I want to teach. And the guys, they don't know it. The girls, they don't know it. So that's what I'm coming with. I know how to do this shit on the court. I've done it. My track record speaks for itself. Now let me show y'all this shit that I learned late. And it's going to meet y'all in the middle, and you're going to be more successful in anything. It's going to teach you to not be attached to anything. More like, you leave yesterday, and you just kind of build on what you're doing. And that relates to basketball too. You miss a shot, you're going to mope on it, or you get into the next shot. It's a decision. So, man, it's just a lot of stuff that I wish I knew earlier. And, when I finally got it, I took it and ran with it. It wasn't in the way a lot of people wanted me to, but it's your life, so you got to do what you want to do. And
absolutely,
that's what I'm on.
Man, absolutely. Hey, that's big time. That's big time. I mean, honestly, for real. Yeah, I'm just happy to see you, doing great, being in a place where you're happy, and it's been great, man.
A lot of people don't really know what's going on, but I'm just kind of building. I'm just building, bro. I'm ready to when it's time to pop out, we have something dope for sure.
Absolutely, man. Well, all right, man. Well, look, us over here at Clutch Talk, Ivan, man, we really, really appreciate you, giving us your time. We talked a little bit of, who put the basketball in your hand, high school, college, NBA, and what you got now and what's next. And I'm sure you're not even close to being done, man. I know you got way more to do, and we appreciate you. And I want to let you know that anytime you want to be able to be on this platform, man, we would love your presence. And anything that you got to shout out, any program that you got coming up, let them know, man. Blast it out for all of the subscribers in the family. They're gonna support, man. They're gonna check it out.
Yeah, for sure. So I got some stuff in the works, like I said, with the tech and an app called Spark My Sport, company called Spark My Sport. I'm gonna be a part of that in a big way in the future. Well, now and in the future. As far as for myself, I have my own entity called Prosperity Rising, where I'm gonna be doing like a lot of my teaching, my mentorship. And that's kind of what I'm doing. I want to shout out my mom's restaurant in East Oakland, called Divine's Cajun Kitchen. So y'all go and check that out if y'all, need some food in the Bay. That's it, man. I just want to, I appreciate y'all time, bro. This was a dope conversation. So I value what y'all do. What y'all do is not easy. It's not easy. I know it's not easy to get people on. So that's why it's important. I met you and I'm like, not only I'm helping myself, but it's we're exchanging. So that's how I look at it. So it's dope, bro.
Absolutely, man. Jay, you got any last words here?
Nah, I appreciate you coming on, man. It's good to seeing like the student become the master or becoming the master in your case and shedding that light with others. Cause young kids and especially young players who are just gotta know that you can be a baller, but there's other parts of life too. And you're a great example of that. So man, keep doing what you're doing, bro. I love to see it for real.
Man, I appreciate it, bro. I take it very serious, bro. So y'all be seeing some stuff, man. Man, we might do another one, bro. We can get into that more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We get into that more.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, we would love that, and we would be definitely looking forward to that, man. And for all the family and all you guys at home, man, listening, if you guys want to stay updated on Ivan and everything that Ivan has going on, I'm gonna drop his Instagram, his Twitter, everything right there, right in his little bubble, and everything is also going to be in the description down below, man. So if you want to stay up to date on everything that Ivan's got going on, man, definitely go check him out, go show him some love, man, because he did us a big one, man. So thank you for that, Ivan. And if that's it, man, if we have no other words, then you guys ready to check out of here, man?
Sir.
Do it. Let's do it.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, all right. We out of here, y'all. Clutch Talk out.
Peace.